Hey, welcome to the channel. This ISNT, one of those channels that scream stories at you with fake music and wild editing. Here, we just tell them how they are raw, real, and meant to make you think. If you're into stories that sound almost too real to be fiction, you're in the right place. For this first one, we're going back 2,000 years to a place colder than anywhere on Earth. They say nothing could survive there. No plant, no animal, no human. But some did. And what they left behind still breathes under the ice today. 2,000 years ago, in a place colder than death itself, a tribe of humans lived where no life should exist. It was the heart of the frozen world, a land so cold that the air itself could kill. They called it the White Breath. No trees, no birds, no sound except the endless howl of the wind and the cracking of ancient ice. Yet somehow they survived, a small tribe of 40 souls wrapped in furs, faces burned by frost, hearts kept alive by one thing, the fire. They called it the heart fire. It burned in the center of their stone hall, fed day and night with dried seaweed, animal fat, and anything that could hold a spark. The fire was their god, their law, and their history. Every child grew up knowing one truth: if the fire dies, we die with it. Their elder Anak was the last of the first bloodline, the keeper of stories older than memory. He said ice wasn't always endless, that long ago the world was green and the sky rained warmth instead of knives. No one truly believed him. The world had been frozen for so long that warmth had become a myth. One night, during the longest storm of the century, they found a man buried in the snow. His clothes were strange, stitched with metal threads, shimmering like fish scales. His skin was gray, his breath shallow, but he was alive. When he awoke, he spoke a language none of them knew, and held a small round object made of bronze and glass, a spinning disk that caught the light like a piece of the sun. He called it the sun disk. Through broken words and gestures, the stranger told them he came from beyond the white, a place where the ice met mountains of black stone, where giant beasts with crystal horns roamed. He said the cold was spreading fast, swallowing everything in its path. Even his people were freezing now, and he had come seeking warmth. The tribe listened, divided between fear and fascination. But as the nights passed, something began to change. The hot fire, the flame that had burned for 70 generations, started to die. No matter how much oil or bone they fed it, the fire dimmed, shrinking to a trembling ember. Panic spread. They believed the stranger had cursed them. Enoch stood by the fire, staring into its fading glow, and whispered, "If the fire dies, the tribe dies." The stranger stepped forward and placed the sun disk above the fire. When the first ray of dawn touched it, light scattered through the hall, refracted into the stone walls, revealing markings they had never seen before. Spirals, suns, waves, images of oceans, of sailing people, of a world not buried under snow. It wasn't a myth. It was a memory. The carvings pointed to something beneath the ice, a path leading downward, deeper than anyone had ever gone. Enoch gathered the strongest among them, and with the stranger guiding, they followed the markings into the glacier. The deeper they went, the warmer the air became. Dripping sounds echoed through the tunnels. For the first time in their lives, they saw running water. At the end of the descent, they found something impossible, a hidden cavern glowing with blue light. Inside it, frozen in the walls, were roots, the remains of trees from a forgotten age, and among them small pools of liquid water. The heart of the world was still alive. Enoch knelt, pressing his hand to the wet earth. He felt heat, real, breathing heat. He turned to his people and said, "The fire above dies because the fire below is calling it home." They carried coals from the dying heart fire and brought them into the cavern. The stranger used the sun disk one last time, focusing the light of dawn through the eyes. The beam struck the coals, and a new flame ignited, stronger than before, burning gold against the frozen roots. The tribe sang the ancient chant, the same one used when children were born. What breathes shall return, what sleeps shall wake. That night, the wind above howled louder than ever, shaking the ice cliffs like drums. And by morning, for the first time in centuries, the air outside had changed. The cold was softer. The snow melted just enough for a drop of water to fall onto the ground. But the stranger didn't see it. He was found frozen beside the new fire, his face calm, his hands still clutching the broken sun disk. Enoch covered him in furs and placed him near the flame, whispering, "You carried the sun back to us." Years passed. The tribe never returned to the surface. They lived beneath the ice, guarding the new fire, believing it was the world's last heartbeat. And then, 2,000 years later, scientists drilling deep into the Antarctic ice discovered a strange warm pocket, a bubble of air and heat far below the surface. Inside, traces of human breath were found older than any recorded civilization. They called it a geothermal anomaly. They said it was just the planet breathing. But maybe, just maybe, it's what remains of the white-breathed people who refused to die when the world froze, the ones who carried fire into the heart of the cold and kept it alive. Even now, deep under the frozen earth, something still breathes.